Right now on 10 News at 11.
Dozens of people left stranded by a major gas leak. Multiple city blocks evacuated in Mission Beach.
I'm hoping they get it, rectified soon. It'd be nice to go to my bed.
We talked to many who were forced to leave with just the clothes on their backs, now faced with being out of their homes for days.
That's right. Right now, 1,000 people have no gas in their homes and hundreds are without power.
And this is the evacuation zone. It's Mission Boulevard, Zanzibar, Verona, and Oceanfront Walk. We have team coverage of the scene and the shelter open tonight to take in evacuees. We begin with 10 News reporter Matt Boone. Matt?
Kimberly, let's get straight to what we just learned from SDG&E. Earlier, they had hoped to have that gas line capped around 10 o'clock tonight. That has now been pushed back. The gas is still apparently leaking. Now they hope to have it all under control by midnight.
The pipe was broken around 11:45 this morning. At first, only the surrounding buildings were evacuated, but then the fire department started going door to door, clearing out people 7 blocks up and down Mission Boulevard.
I said, we can't. And they said, but you're going to have to.
Darlene lives on Oceanfront Walk on the edge of the evacuation zone. She said her husband is immobile, so she'd have to drive him out, but due to the road closures, she wasn't able to.
And I said, oh, how are we going to get there?
She says the fire department offered to escort them out. Overall, about 148 residences were evacuated. Even the beach and the boardwalk was evacuated as well, something Darlene says she'd never seen while living there.
No, this is new. And that's what I'm saying. They make it look like you're stranded.
SDG&E says the pipe was a 3/4-inch natural gas pipe that was damaged by a construction crew doing work on Strandway and York Court. They estimate up to 1,000 customers will lose natural gas service. For safety, they also de-energized a power line, causing about 370 customers to lose power.
And we can definitely see those power outages along this street. Lots of blacked out buildings. SDG&E hopes they will be able to restore power once they've gotten that gas line capped. As for the gas service, that probably will not be installed until they are able to actually fix that pipe, which could take up to 24 to 36 hours. Reporting in Mission Beach tonight, Matt Boone, 10 News.
Yeah, long few days for those people there. Thank you, Matt. And our team coverage continues with 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo. She is live at the Red Cross Evacuation Center, where the volunteers are prepared to help anybody who shows up. Laura.
And we're at the Pacific Beach Recreation Center. They have set up space for about 190 people. Just a few moments ago, 3 people did show up. They are still debating whether or not they're going to stay the night here. The shelter opened at about 9:30 tonight. Volunteers have food and water and a place for people to stay throughout the night. The space is also open for dogs and their owners. The Humane Society is here to help with dog food, cat food, blankets, and medicine for some pets. Earlier, we spoke to a man visiting from New York. He and his family weren't able to get any of their belongings.
Try to call the rental company, see if they give us another place a little further away. But again, they won't let us go get our car from the room, or our clothes or our medicine or anything like that. So it's kind of tough.
Again, this shelter is open for anyone that is affected with this gas leak, whether you are a local or visiting from out of town. All you have to do is show up and register with the Red Cross. Reporting live from Pacific Beach, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
Thank you, Laura. And we will continue to follow this as it develops. We'll have another live update from the scene later on in this newscast. Breaking news now. Just down the street from the gas leak, a driver ran into a police car and then kept going. Photojournalist Paul Anderegg is live in our 10 News breaking news tracker. Paul, the driver then hit another car before San Diego police stopped him.
Yeah, this began right around 10 o'clock tonight here at Ventura near Strand Way. You can see all the damage that's caused to these parked cars here. When police attempted to pull over a drunk driver, he was at the mouth of Strand Way up there. These are the police cars that were trying to pull him over. He ended up backing into one of those police cars, trying to get away, and in the process, he crashed. You can see the damage on the side of the car here as he crashed into a parked car and this truck, which was coming southbound in the alley right towards him. Now, the driver that was in that truck tells me that that man backed up and rammed at least 3 times trying to squeeze between the parked car and get past, but he wasn't able to, so he got out and ran. Those officers were able to chase him down, took him down in the alley here. You can see he actually lost his shoes, his little slippers here as he was trying to run away. So he's in custody. They'll be evaluating him for DUI and also for the damage to that police car and for these 2 citizens' vehicles. Back to you.
He is out right now. All right, Paul, thank you. More breaking news, this time involving paratroopers injured during a nighttime jump in Mississippi. It involves about 80 paratroopers from Alaska that were training at Camp Shelby. The ABC affiliate there says the paratroopers jumped from the AC-130 and the wind blew them away from the drop zone and into trees. Multiple ambulances have been arriving at a nearby hospital, but a spokesperson for the Army will only confirm 4 injuries so far. More than 3,000 soldiers from Alaska are training at Camp Shelby this month. President Trump is on the attack against House Democrats over the impeachment investigation. This comes as 3 Democratic-led committees accuse the White House of refusing to release documents released to President Trump's phone call with the president of Ukraine. Democrats are working to subpoena those documents, which is expected to be issued Friday. Today, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo confirmed that he was on that controversial call. The president lashed out at Democrats in the Oval Office.
They're a disaster. They're the do-nothing Democrats.
We see the actions of this president being an assault on the Constitution.
Kurt Volker, who abruptly resigned his post as U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine negotiations last week, is scheduled to appear tomorrow for a deposition before a House committee.
Senator Elizabeth Warren will make her first presidential campaign stop in San Diego tomorrow. Warren is hosting a town hall at Waterfront Park downtown. People can RSVP for the event on her campaign website. The event starts at 7. The doors open at 5 o'clock. Warren has been gaining momentum in the polls, either leading the pack or coming in neck and neck with the other frontrunner, former Vice President Joe Biden.
County Health says that new flu numbers are an ominous sign for this year's flu season. Today, the county announced that 2 people have died from the flu so far. 235 others have contracted it. That is way up from last season. It is also in line with 2 seasons ago when we had 343 people die from the flu here. County health officials are urging everyone to get a flu shot as soon as possible.
So we want to get the warnings out to everyone. Everyone 6 months of age and older should be vaccinated. So that's the key message today. Vaccines are available, they are effective, and they are safe.
At this time last season, we had no deaths and just 67 cases.
Yeah, maybe I need to get one.
Yeah, you
Starting
do.
to sneeze while you're speaking. A new study by the Mayo Clinic is taking a closer look at what's causing people to get sick from vaping. Researchers studied the lungs of 17 patients being treated for vaping illnesses. Each biopsy showed lung injuries were most likely caused by a toxic chemical. A doctor from the Mayo Clinic explained what they discovered is happening to lung tissue due to vaping.
If you think about the lungs, so when you breathe air in, you breathe it through in your windpipe, and then that pipe goes to both sides of your lungs, and you get progressively smaller tubes. And so those cells that line the inside of the lung were actually falling off.
The CDC has reported more than 800 vaping-related lung injuries. At least 17 people have died.
Angry protesters took to the streets in Dallas tonight after a former police officer convicted of murder was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Amber Geiger could have received life behind bars. A jury unanimously found her guilty of murdering 26-year-old Botham Jean last year. Geiger says that she mistook his apartment for her own. She says she thought he was an intruder and shot him. In court today, there was an unbelievable moment of forgiveness from John's brother before Geiger was taken away.
I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
Geiger begins serving her sentence immediately.
Well, 7 people are dead, 6 injured after a vintage B17 bomber from World War II crashed in Hartford, Connecticut.
Said a B-17 aircraft has crashed.
Well, the aircraft took off this morning and reached an altitude of about 800 feet before the pilot tried to return. They told the tower they lost an engine. The bomber was built in 1944 and was just one of 18 remaining. It was part of an educational tour across the country.
This airplane was not just old, it was ancient. And so it's a real question for the FAA. How old is too old?
In 1987, the same plane overshot a runway while trying to land in Pennsylvania. 3 people were injured in that incident. The NTSB is investigating this crash.
Plans to expand a sand mine operation in Lakeside are stalled for now. An engineer for that project explained at an open meeting that the expansion would be good for the community.
It provides a needed resource, sand, to contractors and to asphalt and concrete manufacturers in this lakeside area.
The East County Sand Mine wants to expand its mining limits from 25 feet to 80 feet. Those against the project and its expansion say it's greedy companies taking advantage of people in Lakeside.
It directly affects the water table, the health, the livelihood of the people of Lakeside. We don't want a dusty, desolate gravel pit.
The Lakeside Community Planning Group made no decision tonight. Instead, it pushed that meeting to November the 20th, where the county board will be in attendance.